What's going on, everybody? It is your boy Don, and we are back with another video. NBA All-Star Game 2018 is in the books. So I want to know, what did you guys think of the All-Star Game? Did you guys think it lived up to the hype, or do you guys think that there's still work to be done? I'm basically going to go over the three main events. It all started out with the skills challenge, which I barely watched because it wasn't interesting at all. To kind of like, these things today in the NBA, it just seems like it's whatever. It just kind of seems like most of the players kind of just show up, and then, except for the All-Star game this year, it wasn't really anything exciting to watch. Personally, I didn't watch it. I saw Joel Embiid cheated. He tweeted about cheating, but he was actually cheating during the contest. That just tells you alone. I think maybe it's time for something else in that department. I don't really find that entertaining to watch anymore, to be honest. The skills challenge, make it more difficult in a type of way that you can see what these guys who are supposed to have good handles could do. Because some of it just looks weird. Because I remember last year Porzingis won, and Porzingis is a big man. Like the guards should be taking over this competition, but it seems to be all about effort level in those departments. And effort level is basically the theme of this video, because I'm kind of going to break down for All-Star 2018, which I thought the most important events were. Definitely wasn't the skills challenge. So for me, today I'm going to be talking about the dunk contest and the All-Star game itself. Oh, I'm sorry. There was also the 3-point contest, which, pretty briefly on that, they need to change the format of the 3-point contest. There's no way there should only be 2 rounds. There should be an extra round between the two best players. So I don't know. I can't remember off the top of my head how many competed, but it should be top 4 advance, and then you knock off another 2, and then the 2 in the final shoot one more time. It shouldn't be that there's only 2 rounds. Some players who are, for example, Paul George, he's not a spot up shooter, you know. So for him, he was always going to do terrible. He's more of an off the dribble type of shooter, which brings me to the next point with the 3-point contest. That if you're going to put players in this contest, make sure they can actually shoot. Because I'm getting tired of watching players do absolutely terrible who aren't terrible players at all. Because Paul George is a great player, but he's not a spot up shooter. It doesn't really matter about your percentage in the NBA. It depends how you shoot and where you are most successful shooting from, because that's where you're going to take most of your shots. So if you're shooting like 40 something percent, from 3, and you're not a really a corner specialist, or like, just a spot up shooter, you're not going to do well in the 3-point contest. And that kind of ruins the overall presentation of that contest, because you just want to see the best guys go at it. And you felt like you didn't really get that, especially not in that first round. But I would think another extra round just to see who the best was. Like, between Clay, if we had one more round with Clay and then D-Book, then we probably would have seen a very nice contest at the end. Because I was not surprised Devin Booker won, because he's playing on a team that nobody's really paying attention to, but he's nice. So that being said, I thought that they kind of saved it from being completely terrible. But for next year, just make sure that they have players in that competition who can legitimately shoot. Enough on that. Now I'm going to talk about the dunk contest, which I thought was absolutely awful. Dunk contest, again, they're going backwards. They were going forward from 2 years ago, and now it seems to be in a place where nobody's taking that contest serious at all. He's like, oh, Donovan Mitchell, this and that. Like, those Donovan Mitchell dunks, they were nice, but it wasn't anything crazy. The best dunk of the night was definitely the Dennis Smith Jr. one when he did the 360. That was pretty nice. The Larry Nance, when he bounced it off the glass, was nice as well. But overall, it wasn't an entertaining dunk contest, because a lot of the dunks that you wanted to see were actually missed. That just brings me to the point of putting on a show, because the dunk contest is really what everybody initially wanted to see. And it kind of, I'm not surprised that it turned out this way, but I'm a little surprised that it was a little bit, like lackluster. You're like, there should have been more from what it was worth. Like, Oladipo got eliminated way too early because he didn't get to complete his dunks. So why not next year only score the dunks you actually complete? something like that. The NBA has to work on that format. Um, Also, with the judges in that contest, make sure you bring NBA certified people to be your judges. You got DJ Khaled, you got Mark Wahlberg, you got a whole bunch of people who never really played basketball like that. Why are they the judges in the game? And like, listen, it's not a negative review or anything like that, because the positive I'm actually saving for last. But like, if I'm gonna talk about sports and what's happening in sports, I gotta say what needs to be said. And honestly, that whole, it just looked off from the get go. It didn't feel like it was gonna be anything special. Shout out to Donovan Mitchell for winning though, but that's not a dunk contest that you want to watch again. If you want to watch a dunk contest again, watch the one between Aaron Gordon and Levine, the first year. That was a real dunk contest, and ever since that, it hasn't really been done. I'm still calling for the best players in the game to actually be on it, even though LeBron is getting old. Why not have some of the best players compete? Like, it makes no sense to me why none of these guys at all want to step up and say, oh, I want to be in the dunk contest. Just for the kids alone, it would be a great contest to see what the best can really do. Nobody really wants to see, like, no offense to, like, all these rookies that are in and stuff like that, talking about, oh, it's their breakout moment. It's not really their breakout moment. Their breakout moment will come when they start putting up like 25, 20, 21, in the league. The dunk contest is not really a coming out party for any player. I don't know why a lot of people were saying stuff like that. Now, the NBA All-Star Game. Finally, we had a great All-Star Game. And it's been a while since it's been like that. And I don't understand why it has taken this long for the game to get serious. You would think that the players that are on display for the night, just their natural competitiveness would drive them to be competitive with each other if they get a chance to play with each other, But that's besides the point. It was a genius move, actually, by the NBA to do the Team Stephen and Team LeBron, because I forgot all about that, because this NBA format with East and West is not working. The West is way stronger than the East, so it would have been such a lopsided game, just off of that. So the NBA was very smart by doing that. You got both captains in LeBron and Steph Curry who got to pick their players instead. The downside to it was that a lot of the players that were picked were actually hurt, at the time. But the concept is fun, and this is something that they definitely can go forward with. The NBA, in that sense, is very progressive when it comes to their thing. If there's something that's not working currently, they'll review it and they'll go over that. As far as the game goes, the game was great. The game was fun, but I think for the next couple of years, it just has to be more. It just has to be more of a spectacle, I would say, because I think that now you can definitely see that they've improved from last year to this year, because if you look at the game last year, which in my opinion wasn't even that bad, but the effort level sometimes wasn't as high. That's what everybody was arguing, that there was no effort on defense, and they made a really big commitment this year, I guess, on playing defense. But the weird thing for me is that it should have never really. Defense is not what should have been the main issue here. It's just trying to put on a show for the fans. And I think this year they finally did that. The NBA All-Star Game pretty much saved the All-Star weekend, to be honest. If it wasn't for the All-Star Game, I would have labeled this All-Star weekend as a complete failure. But the All-Star Game definitely saved the All-Star weekend, because if you compare this to the Team USA against Team World, that just shows you there's different levels right now in the NBA. There are a lot of players in the NBA who come from overseas who are great players, and you can't deny them that. Because if you look at Team World was actually trying to win, and they won. I know I'm bouncing around topics because I just bounce around as they come in my head. But compare that, because most of those players are first and second year players, to the All-Star Game that was in the end of Sunday. It was definitely better, the skill on this. But that's what you want to see. That's the product of the NBA that you always wanted to see. I have no idea why it's taking this long for them to get serious about it. Because if you look at All-Star games in the past, they were naturally competitive already. So I don't understand why it's taking this long. Still, some fixes can be made to the actual format of the All-Star game. Maybe even change that Team World up versus Team USA, because it seems like like some of those things on the All-Star game are not fun to watch at all. It's very hard to watch like the skill competition these days. It's very hard to watch the rookie challenge, which is like now the Team USA versus Team World. You know, maybe change up some of the rules in the dunk contest as well, only counting dunks that you complete. And for the 3-point contest, maybe add another round or so just to see who the best really are. Because sometimes if you don't start hot, then you don't finish hot at all, and then you'll get eliminated early. When in turn, if the rules were a little different, you probably had a better shot, and then as a result, we get a better show. But let your boy Donny know in the comment section, what did you think of NBA All-Star 2018? Do you think it's good moving forward, or do you think, like I said, we still need some changes to be made to the formats so that we can have a better entertaining game for next year? Let your boy Don know. It's your boy Don, and I'll see y'all next time, man. Peace. I'm out.